So I always like to start out, chapter 1, where's the money? How much can I make? How much can we profit? Well, you can profit as much as you want with the crowdfunding platform. The beauty of the crowdfunding platform, the way we have modeled it, is that there are benefits, loyalty programs, there are volume programs, there are exclusivity offers. There are so many ways to compound your returns, and the kicker is here, compound. That is the word. That is where the money is at. That's what made Buffett billions. That is what Einstein considers man's greatest accomplishment. When you start compounding returns, the power of compounding will literally blow your mind. But most people do not know how to gain access to compounding, or it takes so long to get into the compounding of the returns that they will likely never see the benefits in their lifetime. So this vehicle that we have built, that's a transparent vehicle for crowdfunding different projects, mainly real estate for us. And the reason we do real estate is because you can move large chunks of capital quickly. And the beauty of it is you can move them quickly in all sorts of markets around the world, and it's the largest ticket item. Real estate is the largest ticket item. Real estate is the greatest transfer of wealth that can be done. So that is where we built our model upon, is real estate investing. Now, we've done real estate investing on short term, on mid-term, long-term, projections, development, redevelopment. There are many different models, but the main model we like to focus on is short-term investments of 6 to 12 months, and some investments shorter than that, 90-day turns. Now, what does this do for you? What does this do for us? It gives us the opportunity to turn the money over multiple times before being taxed on it, or by using tax-free vehicles, compounding that way as well. I don't want to get too involved in the details, but here's an example. If you have $1 million and you turn it 4 times in 1 year. Now, if you turned it 4 times in 1 year at a 10% interest rate, it's just 10%, right? But when you add the crowdfunding element with profit share and or with different originations and bonuses for participation on your turns and volume participation returns, what you come up with is multiple extra points on top of each deal. So let me give you an example. So let's say you have $1 million at 10%, which, by the way, is an amazing return, right? So $1 million would return in 1 year $1,100,000. Now, can you live on $100,000? A lot of people can. A lot of people can. A lot of people think that if they can put $1 million away, well, their retirement, they can actually live out the rest of their life somewhat in a state of luxury, or the state that they want, that they're accommodated to. Okay. Now, obviously, with inflation and everything else, that $1 million is going to be less and less and less every year. Even if you're earning that 10% on it and taking just the $100,000, just the return on your money, and not digging into your principal, it's still returning a little less every year due to inflation. So you need to compound your returns. Compound your returns. Now, how do you do that, you say? To compound the returns, you're going to have to make more than that 10%. I think that's pretty clear, right? So if you want to grow your wealth, and to give you an example, inflation's between 2 and 3%, that means if you're used to $100,000 a year and you have $1 million in principal, then you're going to have to increase it by 13%, right? to accommodate for inflation. So you have to have that 10% return plus inflation between 2 and 3%. So let's say, just to be safe, we need to make at least another 4% on top of that 10 to stay ahead of the inflation curve and grow our principal, not just stagnate and stay the same. Okay? So 14%. Now, how are we going to get a 14% return? Well, a lot of funds out there claim they can make 14%. The truth of the matter is, very few investors make consistent returns over 12 to 14%. They'll show you a good year where they did 14%, and then they had a bad year where they lost 6%. So how do you do it? Well, you invest in real estate in markets that are always providing returns. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean the markets are always going up. Just like anything, you can short markets as well and make money in real estate. But you have to be savvy with the real estate game or participate with a crowdfunding platform that has amazing opportunities that return a minimum of 10%. Plus, you have the opportunity to, with the bonuses and the participations, to compound that interest with multiple deals a year or with a deal a year, providing that profit share or whatever it is to get you into that compound interest category where you are truly compounding and growing your wealth. Now, to give you an example, a lot of our investors, what they do is they come in at 10 to 12% guaranteed interest rate on the monies they put in as an owner, and then they participate in the profit share, which is up to 30%. Now, what does that look like, you ask? If you invested $1 million, that means you would be paid back. We have $1,300,000 on a turn, on a deal, basically. Okay, so on average, it's about $1.3 million out for $1 million in. Now, what does that mean to the investor? It means the standard 10% return, or $100,000, so $1.1 million. Then, if they turned it twice, they would receive right around another $100,000. So it would be $1.2 million back, up to $1.3 million back on an annual return basis, or somewhere between 18 and 36% return on investment. Now, where does the compounding come in, you ask? So you put in the $1 million, you get out the $1.3 million first year. You take $100,000, you use it, then you put in $1.2 million. Now you put in $1.2 million, you get back $1.46 million, and then you take out $100,000, so you're $1.36 million, and then so on and so forth. And by year 7, you are tripling and quadrupling your money quite easily. The beauty of it is, at the lower rates of return and compounding, you double your money every 5 turns, potentially every 4 turns. So compounding, when you add in your profit shares and your bonuses and your royalties for your reward for being a member, continuous volume member, or a continuous deal member, I mean, you're getting these 15% returns over and over, twice a year, 3 times a year. And at 4 and 5 times, I mean, you're doubling your money. That is the power of compounding. Now, I know a lot of people in the stock market have doubled their money in short terms, in less than a year as well. I know that is possible, and people have done it. The beauty of crowdfunding is that you can do it consistently. And on top of that, you're guaranteed that 10% return no matter what. You're secured by a hard asset, and you're paid first. 3 huge benefits that you do not receive when you invest in the stock market. Plus, the stock market is extremely volatile. The stock market is not a hard asset. It's not a hard asset. And on top of all that, the stock market, it takes a lot of study. It's not as transparent. You can't see the property. You can't touch the property. You don't know what the CEO is doing, the CFO is doing. You don't know if they just got a really bad habit, or if they went through a divorce and decided to crash the company, or if they're pumping and dumping, you just don't have any of those securities that you do with a hard asset. So we love real estate, and we think the crowdfunding platform is the greatest thing beyond sliced bread. So I hope you've enjoyed Chapter 1 in regard to how much profit you can make, how the sky is the limit with crowdfunding, and our model, transparent and as exciting as it is to be able to see each deal, to be able to anticipate the returns, to know that you're coming in on a deal that pays you back first. The investor gets their money first and their interest, that minimum 10%, and then everything else is paid later, All profits paid last. All other investors in the crowd fund paid last. The passive investor is paid first. They're secured first. They are ownership interest, and they're secured. They're secured because it's those investors that are the bread and butter. They're the ones that need to have the most confidence coming into this deal. The active investors like myself who participate in the deal but are the day-to-day operations and get paid upon performance. Well, that's how it should be. We should be paid upon performance. Last, which is a good show of faith in not only the product, but is an excellent motivator. As far as the model is concerned, that is what motivates us to get up in the morning and find another amazing deal for our team, our community, our investors. And to be able to double our investors' money and our own within a year period of time, not to mention starting to work with leverage and what you can do with leveraging, it's absolutely phenomenal. It's exponential. It is truly an investment strategy without limitation. And we, my friend, are looking forward to stretching the expectation, maximizing the profit, and increasing the joy exponentially.